And we're recording, I think. Are we? Are we not? We should be. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
No wonder why I thought it was crooked. This is Laurie.
This is Peter.
And we're with Action Heroes LA with another review, this time of
Triangle of Sadness.
Triangle of Sadness. Anyway, Triangle of Sadness was a 2022 film that won the Palme d'Or at Cannes Film Festival last year.
Mm-hmm.
And we just recorded a whole video of what that is, but it's one of the biggest film festivals, like in the south of France or something like that, and every year, and very prestigious, kind of like, what do you call?
The Oscars.
No, I mean, they're different in a way from the Oscars. They're more internationally. I think you get more international films, like this one is, I think it's out of, I don't know, Germany.
Well, when you're
Sweden.
finished with the film, you put it in the can.
But you should put it in a can. But anyway, yeah, I think it's I wouldn't say it's more prestigious as the Oscars, but they're on the same level. You get a little more, less Hollywood type films will come through this, and as we can see with this film, this isn't not a Hollywood film at all.
No, it isn't.
Doesn't have that Hollywood feel to it or packaging. But yeah, Triangle of Sadness was, I gotta fix this thing. Little technical thing right here for, if you excuse me. Oh, there it goes again, but I gotta put it on loop. Alrighty. Okay, so this film was directed by Ruben Östlund, and I already mentioned Hamilton nearly joined us to review this along with some other things, but ultimately decided he couldn't do it.
Yes.
He's still got to focus on some things in his life, but we appreciate it. This is a filmmaker he really liked, and he hadn't seen this film, and it's a filmmaker I hadn't heard of before.
Neither had I.
Yeah. It's starring Charlie Dean, what was it, Crick, who sadly passed away recently.
Yes.
Not long after this film, I think. And she was only 32. Harrison Dickinson, Dolly De Leon, and the only person I recognize from this movie, Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
It's another Cheers alumni movie review week. We just did Night Shift who had Shelley Long, and now Woody Harrelson, who was also on Cheers. But this is a film about these lovely young couple. One's the guy's a male model, and his girlfriend's like a influencer model on Instagram and things like that. They get a free trip on a cruise, and everything goes to shit.
Yes.
Quite literally, in fact, at some points. But they get, this very expensive yacht. And so it's an interesting movie in that it's making observations about wealth and privilege and the things we do for money. Come on. Autofocus.
Yeah,
Come
but
on.
in a lot of ways, I think the film is more than that, especially in the in this
excuse the noise.
Me Too age.
In the Me Too, what do you think? What do you mean?
Well, the toilet manager,
okay,
on the ship,
she
says, "Yeah, here
I'm the captain."
I'm captain,
which was great. I mean, this movie goes through a lot. I mean, that's kind of like this movie's in 3 parts, really. And I had the fortune to see it twice because we watched it together, and then I watched it with Hamilton, and got to pick up on a few more things. I think got to take in a few things because it's interesting. Because it's kind of what we will do for wealth.
We will do.
How much we'll degrade ourselves for financial gain,
or put ourselves above
people. Oh yeah, and just how we treat people who have a lot of money, and then that gets flipped in the third half when the ship ultimately sinks. I know, spoiler alert. And some of the people who are on this cruise get stranded on an island. And they have to fend for themselves, where your money means nothing.
Yes.
It's like, but the person who has the skill, who knows how to catch food and cook it, and but get the basic needs, and it turns out to be one of the maids from the ship, the
toilet manager.
She's the most valuable person now. She didn't have a lot. She's who was who would be considered the lowest level on that ship.
Yes.
Is now she's captain, because their lives depend on her.
But the interaction, the way it changes, the way the dynamics are, you would, a lot of these people who we've seen lately in the Me Too era are subjugating people who need to work.
Okay.
Well,
isn't that always the case? What do you mean subjugating people who need to work, or who? Who don't have the luxury of?
Yes. Yeah. And
of working from home like I do.
Yeah.
Well, that was big, like during the pandemic. The whole thing about essential workers is like, we need these people absolutely to keep working, even though, there's this deadly virus going around. Potentially, they can potentially kill them.
Well, I think even more. And let's say if a Hollywood director, let's say, if an actor had the correct skills in order to act, they would do it, and people would look at them and say, "This is perfect for this," and then possibly a director might go, "One more test." Get everybody out and say, "Yeah, have you ever heard of the casting couch?"
Okay.
Well, if you want this movie, that's what it's going to be. So,
which is very wrong.
Right. But then when the toilet manager gets to this island, she not only can do everything, can cook, whereas all these other wealthy people,
they're useless.
Yes.
They're completely useless,
And then she says, "Well, I'm the head honcho here." But it's what got me is that she wasn't kind. She took on the persona of the.
She becomes kind of tyrannical.
Yes.
Once she gets power.
Yes.
When she has the power. I mean, but that's just one part of the movie too.
Yes.
I mean, it leads up to that. There's lots of, the movie kind of has lots of interesting observations. Like, it starts on the young couple, the male model and his model girlfriend, and they go to a dinner. It is expressed that she makes more money than him, but she kind of plays it at the dinner when the check comes. She kind of does everything to ignore it so he'll pick it up, even though they had a conversation that she would start picking up the checks more too. And he was like, well, just to be a fair playing field, and especially because you make more money than me and stuff. But she kind of relies on what is kind of expected between the male-female dynamic. And there's like a question about money when it becomes the men and women in that first section. And then the second section of the movie is when everybody goes to the luxury yacht, and there's the whole crew who and if you've watched enough Below Deck, you have the stewardesses and stewards crew, where there's levels among the crew,
right? Because
you have the cleaning crew, you have the cooks, you have the people working the deck, and then the stews, who are the ones who get those are the only ones who get the tips. And it's like we don't say no to anything. We say yes to everything. To whatever these people want. They want a giraffe in the middle of the ocean. Yes, we can do that.
Yeah.
So. which was like a Prince story, actually. I think he wanted a giraffe at like 2 in the morning or something. Anyway, but
Giraffe.
and he just like, I'm Prince.
You're
You're supposed to bring me a giraffe at 2 in the morning. I don't care what. He didn't. But that's just a. But so they're supposed to service these people and say yes to no matter what, and it gets there. One of the stews getting into a position where it becomes obvious that if she says yes to this woman, and this woman's thinking, oh, I want everybody to live in luxury. I want you to take a swim like I would take a swim in the pool. And the woman's like, if I do that, my ass is going to get fired. Somebody else already just got fired off this boat anyway. But it manages that because this rich woman demands it, the entire crew all take us off the boat slide. They all kind of like shoot off the boat slide into the water. At one point, there's the whole scene. Woody Harrelson plays the captain of the boat, and he's just a drunk. He doesn't even come out of his room most of the time, and just horrible leadership. And to the point when he's a socialist also, and when the whole ship is caught in a storm during the captain's dinner, and nobody's leading the boat. He's getting into like philosophical arguments with a Russian capitalist,
right,
about whose philosophy is right, and
which is just crazy.
And it's crazy, but it's kind of a metaphor of what's going on in the world now. We have everybody's arguing about whose political side is right, but nobody's guiding the boat. Like, who's going to get us out of this shit we're in, this storm we're in? It's like nobody's driving this. We're too busy, arguing our philosophies back to each other. And then
and the thing that shows something else. Here it is, the captain's duty, job is to maybe see to it that, this boat is in trouble.
Yeah, so you would think he would do something.
But he just says, nope,
supposed
to be here at dinner.
Yeah. They're just standing there.
Yeah.
Just letting everything go to hell.
Yes.
I mean, and it's pretty gross what happens afterward, because everybody gets sick.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting till ultimately the ship gets.
There's a lot of vomiting.
There's a lot of vomiting. There's some was coming out both ends, but it was, and that's one of the scenes I heard about that I don't know if I want to watch this movie, but I forgot I heard something else. It's like, I'll check it out. Just see.
But I'm
glad I did.
I think that kind of shows us something too.
Okay, well,
because a lot of our politicians and other people, it's coming out of both ends.
Very true. Very true. But ultimately, and kind of, there's a couple things that happen. The boat sinks, and some of the people end up on an island, and that's when you find out who's really valuable was the maid, who knows how to fish,
right,
knows how to make fire, and knows how to cook. And none of these people with their beauty or money, they're completely useless. They have no idea what to do, and they're not helpful at all. They're barely helpful. But then something interesting happens, and this is not a Hollywood movie, because the Hollywood movie would make the maid a heroic type of person.
Yes.
They would make you root for her. They would make you, she's the heart of gold, salt of the earth, the, lower classes. Aren't they truly the ones who are better than all of us? But it's like, as soon as when she gets power, she becomes a tyrant. She becomes, she wields it. She pits the women against the men. She takes advantage of the young male model, her power position, and he plays into it, knowing that he starts to, try to use his looks to get an advantage.
Yeah, because he's going to win in the end. Well, kind of, because he's like, I'm in a better position.
Well, he says he's doing this for his girlfriend, and so, But at this, then you start to wonder. It's like, I don't know. I think he's enjoying this at the same time. But can you truly, or is it just like a Stockholm syndrome situation where, because when you're not in power, you really can't have agency, or you can't have a equal type of interactive relationship.
Yeah,
when the power levels are so disparity.
But going to another movie, it is when it's when what Superman was saying, if I am all powerful, I cannot be all good.
Superman said
I'm all good, I cannot be all powerful.
Well, wasn't it? Well, that what Spider-Man said.
Actually, what is his name? Lex Luthor actually told it to Superman.
Oh, okay.
And Superman said, "You know what? That's how it's got to be."
Okay.
And
Superman will find a way.
Yes, which he did.
I gotta figure out this camera situation, y'all. It keeps going out of focus, and I'm sorry about that. But hopefully not too often when I'm not looking at it. Okay. But yeah, so it's a really interesting movie, kind of exploring these things, and I don't think it really wants to draw a conclusion and say, well, this is what I think about this. It just kind of like when Hamilton, talking to Hamilton, he's like, oh yeah, he likes to observe different things. I was like, yeah, this is more of an observant movie about power structures and our different society levels according to money, rather than to say, oh, this is all bad and this is all good. And it's just, except where it's like once anybody's in power, it can really corrupt you.
Yes, and the thing that I found interesting is that each one of them at certain points in their in this movie, in their lives or whatever, had a chance to find that middle ground and was kind to everybody.
Yeah.
And each time they went right past it.
That's true. Yeah.
And went straight to hell.
Yeah, it was everybody. It
Wow.
doesn't have a lot of faith in humanity, does it?
No, it doesn't.
In human nature, yeah, it's like human nature is human nature, and it kind of sucks.
Yes.
So, well, any other thoughts on Triangle of Sadness? We watched this on Hulu. It had a couple commercials on it, which was interesting, but
I'd say it's really a movie to watch, to understand, and to take to heart and find out where you're going to be.
Yeah, how would you be in this situation? I think because the ending of the film, and I don't want to spoil it, even though we spoil everything, it's kind of interesting. It's a little vague. The ending is vague as to exactly what happens, but I would guess when it comes. It comes to a point where the maid, it looks like her power, her position is threatened, because
yes, and I kind of guess that
I can ending, guess, yeah, but based on the way
you were correct in saying, though, still they give you an ending. But it's still vague.
It's a little vague. You can kind of guess where it might be going. And, I can understand what she was offered, the maid was offered, was insulting at the end of the film. But was her reaction to it, and we really don't know what she did.
Right.
But I can guess.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to contemplate. And that's what this movie does. It gives you some interesting things to contemplate.
Really interesting.
Yeah, which is Hollywood movies would want to wrap this up in some kind of nice little heartwarming bubble. Yeah,
or something,
and this movie says, no, this is real life, y'all.
Yeah.
We really need to think about what we truly value, I think.
Yes.
And I think maybe that's what the filmmaker wants you to come away with. I'm looking forward to finding other YouTube videos breaking down this movie. But I always wait until after we do our review. But anyway, so any final thoughts? The Palme d'Or winner 2022, Triangle of Sadness. I do want to point out that title. You're like, what is that title? Where'd they get it? Why do they call it this? It happens to be one of the funniest lines in the movie. But
I thought it was YMCA.
Okay, sure it was. But anyway, so it's on Hulu right now. Check it out if you've seen it. Let us know in the comments what you think. Are we out?
We are out.
We are out. We are out. Bye.